speaking of picking Cody Rhodes the loser, I want to start there.
Loser.
John Cena, with the help of Travis Scott, became the Never Seen 17, winning his 17th World Championship in the WWE, beating Ric
That's
Flair
right,
record,
Donnie.
all that shit. Thoughts, like people after Mania hated what happened there. Is that, what are y'all thoughts on not just John Cena winning, but like the actual
who produced the match? I need to know who produced the match.
That's a good question.
Somebody put your name on that.
Let me see. I that's one thing I hadn't seen, but I also had WrestleMania 41 match producer.
The only thing that they did in that match that was successful, in my opinion, was following through with what was said on Friday. Like there was a point where Cena basically said, "It's gonna come to a point in the road where you got to make a decision whether to be great or and be a good guy or be a winner." And at the end of the match, that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bobby Roode, that was not glorious, nigger. I mean, just Bobby Roode looked like he said.
Why can I only find the night one? You thought the match was Wild Cheeks?
That shit was ass.
What?
It was slow. It was slow, but it was because it was a heel match. Like heels, he was truly wrestling like a heel. And from the beginning to his entrance to him giving us no burn in the match, it was the most entertaining, most fuck you match I've ever seen in my life. And I absolutely loved it.
I liked the I finally watched it on the TV. I'd only seen it went from, watching it at the Yami, and I liked the way that he had the John Cena in all white bowl font on the black, and like no colorful lights, none of he wasn't running down the ramp.
Balenciaga.
He was what you said.
You ever seen the Balenciaga logo? It's black and white. It's just nothing.
It's just it's almost like too simple, like hype, but I like it. I like that it's very deliberate, which I think is what he was doing in the match. It was for somebody, I mean, he said after the fact that he was going to be ruining wrestling, but for somebody who let you know that this run was about him and about doing what he thought was going to be best for business, which was winning the title. I don't like getting too theory into like, oh, they did it on purpose, blah 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 blah. But like, it feels very deliberate. Everything that he's been doing thus far has been
consistent,
very much consistent. Yes.
This is
DDM.
consistent.
You said you didn't like it though, right?
I hated it. I thought it was. I'm gonna say this. I'm glad I didn't spend. I was this close to pulling the trigger on a ticket for night 2.
We were talking about
it. Outside of the triple threat in the beginning, which was the match of the weekend for me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't pay for that.
I understand.
I thought it was absolutely abysmal. I thought that it was. I thought it was not worth the price of admission. I thought it was not commensurate with the asking price of tickets.
That ending in general, or just
it was a highly shellacked Raw. And
shellacked.
I personally think that the people who attended night 2 of WrestleMania, outside of the ladies and the Dominic moment, they did not get what they paid for.
Beautiful.
They did not get what they paid for, and I think
they were not happy.
And I wasn't happy watching it on TV, especially for what the overall Vegas experience costs, what the seats costs, what the merch costs,
what the wings cost.
right, having people pay $85 to go shop at WWE World. It just was not. It felt like a big money grab. And to be honest, I feel like the people who attended Raw after Mania got a WrestleMania ticket.
Yeah.
The people who attended WrestleMania got a highly shellacked SmackDown.
That Raw, I think, as per usual, we'll dip back and forth in between things, especially with the fallout for Raw. I really liked that Raw. I liked. There's a theory going around that, based on, and I guess we should probably touch on The Rock's comments in a little bit, but there's a theory going around that
I told y'all niggas.
Talk about it. That that Cena supposedly Cena turning heel was supposed to have happened at WrestleMania. And the more I think about the rollout, the more it feels like, regardless of The Rock, who said he had to, he said Ari Emanuel called him up and said, hey, these Elimination Chamber tickets not selling as hot as we want. We want that show to be must see. That's what he said. So The Rock said his idea was the final boss, a situation. Man, let me get the appropriate. He said his idea was to get the final boss to ask Cody Rhodes to sell his soul and become his champion, which would led into the John Cena, Travis Scott, Rock triple threat beat up on Cody Rhodes' ass at the end of Elimination Chamber. But like we had been saying, a minute ago, as much as people wanted to theorize about, he said, I'm 20 steps ahead. Jey Uso was number 20 in the Royal Rumble. Maybe he's the next person in the squad. Everybody had all them theories. The theory really was that The Rock said, what am I do? Oh, I got here go the idea right here, and just put the shit right up on TV. Like it
what was the idea?
The idea was slashing the throat and being the person, the shit that we saw at Elimination Chamber, the whole Cody, that was supposed to be his idea, but the thought concept was the theory is originally that none of that was supposed to have happened. I don't know what Cena was supposed to have been doing from winning the Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania, but it wasn't supposed to be healing. And the thought is that the heel turn was supposed to happen during, or I guess after the match, during the match at WrestleMania, to win the match over Cody Rhodes, which to me
makes the most sense.
It makes the most sense primarily because if you look at John Cena's shoes, he didn't change up on the shoes until that Monday Night Raw after Mania. He had black bullshit shoes on, but Monday Night at Raw after Mania, he had the Jumpman Jack. They coming out next week, I want to say, next Wednesday. That to me felt like the total completion of him being heel. Not him with the title, him looking at them yummy shoes. But
still had them diabetic socks on.
It didn't look like he had no socks on. But the question is, like, does that even make sense? Do we think that they're clearly not thinking that way, right? Like, if the idea is that there was no thought about this until The Rock came through, am I to believe that they would have been able to figure out how to not make John Cena a heel until this moment on Raw? Like, does any of this make any sense? Does it matter?
I personally don't care how it got there. Right. For me, him and Han, because that's what he did. He Han. The other one at the press conference did the same thing. You can tell when somebody's lying because of how when they talk in the speech pattern, how interrupted it can be and how it pauses and all that. So you can tell both of them were lying.
Cena and The Rock, you're saying?
No, Triple H at the conference.
Yeah.
Because I saw a clip of it afterwards, and somebody asked him a question, and he just couldn't. He doesn't know how to answer a question. like he doesn't know how to what is it, like just not make it seem like he's lying, or he's trying to hide something, or that he's just trying not to answer something.
Right.
It now all of it makes sense. Listening to these interviews, it all makes sense as to why everything felt so disjointed. Because that's what it was. It was nothing was connected. Everything felt weird. Everybody kept asking where The Rock was. And to say that you did not want to, you wanted to put the shine on John Cena is wild. Like this is a huge, like leading up to WrestleMania, this is the year's biggest event. Yeah. And it's all eyes on everybody. It doesn't matter. He's John Cena. You're not taking shine away from John Cena. The Rock. You're not.
The Never Seen 17.
So for him to say something like that, like did you see the Jonathan Coachman commentary?
I saw him make comments saying I didn't see the whole thing, but he was basically
so you should listen to it, because he basically says, like, I've been in this space. I know exactly what he's saying makes absolutely no sense. It's two of it. He said, I don't know for sure, but it's two of two things. It could be two things. And one of the things he said is that creatively they could not get on the same page. So this is his way of kind of saying, you know, like kind of like, you know,
so y'all got it.
Yeah, exactly. And given the fact of, in my opinion, seeing how he is, I feel like, yeah, it was a little bit of an ego thing, right? And then for him to respond to Dave LaGreca the way he responded to Dave LaGreca, because he could have just ignored Dave's rant.
They really
but
going
he
back and
didn't.
Forth out there.
Yeah, like, and I was just like, okay, you really want to say something, but you don't want to say something, you know? I don't know. I just kind of felt like, even if like you came out already, like you came out with Travis Scott, you did all of these things, then you went into the press conference and said some more shit, and then you gonna take a step back? Like what?
Right.
That shit don't make no sense. The fact that you came, you should have just not been on the Pat. You went on the Pat McAfee show the next fucking day.
He didn't care.
This all started on the Pat McAfee show because he was like, you know, Raw is down the street.
Right.
That's how all this started. That's all it started. And then it was probably smoking with McAfee. Nigga don't know what he.
It's stupid. It's dumb. And it's very much like you let your ego, instead of giving the fans what they want, right? Because last year you leaned into it, right? You were supposed to get one thing. And this is kind of like, for me, not saying that this is what it is, but I knew he was going to get his lick back from what happened last year. And I think this is the lick back. This is the lick back.
Ruining wrestling?
Was he never going to wrestle?
Ruining it, but
was Rock never going to wrestle?
I think he was
never going to wrestle.
No, I think he was only going to do it for Roman. And when that got taken away, right? That got taken away. I don't care what he says in that documentary. I will never fucking watch that documentary because I know it's a shit pile of lies. Because and this whole shit where he dipped in and dipped out, he did that on purpose. This is the lick back.
I think this was it. I think this was always
petty.
This nigga was never gonna have a one-on-one.